Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Captain's Quarters, the unofficial Star Trek Rewatch Podcast, where we are rewatching the entire Star Trek franchise, starting at the beginning of the official chronology, working our way through. My name is Gabe, and I'm with my co-captain Jason, and today we're talking about Star Trek Discovery, Season 2, Episode 13, Such Sweet Sorrow. Set your faces for fun. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you? Hello, everybody.
Good to be back.
It's always good to be back in the captain's quarters. Good to be back with you.
It's my favorite place to be.
You took the words right out of my mouth again. Seriously?
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's do the synopsis via memoryalphafandom.com. Thank you to them. Very short. So here we go. When the USS Discovery's crucial mission does not go according to plan, Burnham realizes what must ultimately be done. The crew prepares for the battle of a lifetime as Leland's control ships get closer. So this episode is all about saying goodbye. Hence, Such Sweet Sorrow. Which Shakespeare play would that be, Jason?
It's Hamlet.
Hamlet. Okay. And so
Parting is such a sweet sorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So Control wants the data from the core that Discovery is housing so that they can achieve full consciousness. Leland is some sort of weird nanobot puppet controlling Section 31's fleet. They're closing in. Initially, the plan is
Hang on. Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. It's Romeo and Juliet. It's because she says it. As I was saying Hamlet, I'm like, no, that doesn't seem right. And now I'm glad I second guessed myself because I am darn near sure that it's Juliet because she says parting is such sweet sorrow. It's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I should have caught that because I don't know a lot of Shakespeare, and that's like one of the only ones I do know. So I should have caught that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and because that is such a Romeo and Juliet line.
Yeah. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Section 31/Control wants to get their hands on this core data to achieve full consciousness. They're closing in. The crew of Discovery determines that they need to destroy Discovery. They're going to self-destruct, blow up all this data so that Control cannot get their hands on it. So that's the first goodbye, which is saying goodbye to this magnificent ship. At one point, Pike says something like, there will never be another one like her, which is interesting because, we could talk about that later, but it does feel like that was the retcon feel of this whole show of this thing is just way more advanced. And at the beginning you're like, how can this be a prequel to the original series? And it's lines like that which make me feel like the showrunners are admitting that maybe it wasn't the best direction to go, but I could also be reading too much into it. But
no, I said the same thing to myself, and I think we've been saying this the whole time, but go ahead.
Yeah. They're going to say goodbye to Discovery. Burnham on Discovery touches the crystal. She sees this vision. The idea is like when you touch the crystal, you see the future. I actually don't understand if it's the actual future or a version of the future. But what she sees is destruction, basically. And she knows things could go wrong. And it has a residual effect. So later on, when she's on the bridge and they're getting ready to detonate, she has another one of these visions where it shows some version of the future where Leland boards Discovery and shoots everyone up and grabs Burnham and I assume kills her. And what they learn is that the core data has integrated itself with Discovery and it starts to protect itself.
Yeah.
And so it turns off the self-destruct, and they can't remotely detonate it. They try firing torpedoes at it. That doesn't work because it put the shields up. And so they piece together, well, it's protecting itself. So what are we going to do? So then they determine that they're going to use the time crystal, make a new suit. Burnham has to be the one to fly it because it's like her mom's DNA is the one that is linked to it.
Yeah.
And so her mRNA is close enough that she can do it. The idea is she's going to basically like tow Discovery into the future. And so we finally observe, or finally at the point where we've known all along that the show is going to jump forward.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the moment. The idea initially is that she's going to create like the wormhole. Discovery will follow her in and then she'll come back. They soon realize that that's not going to work. The science doesn't science there. So then our next goodbye is she determines she's going to sacrifice herself. So it's her saying goodbye to everybody. She tells everyone she loves them. And the whole episode is under a time crunch because Control's on the way. So they don't really have the time to do a lot of proper goodbyes. So it's emotional. She's going to sacrifice herself. She wants to go to I believe Terrelysium, where her mom is.
Yep.
But there's uncertainty there. They don't know. She might get stuck in a wormhole. She might not end up where she wants to.
She might end up in 1955. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. November 1st. Was it November 1st?
November 5th.
November 5th. Well, so eventually, after saying goodbye, the majority of the rest of the Discovery crew then tells her, "We're going with you," and they're resolute about it. You know, you're not going to talk us out of it, so just accept that we're going with you. So then the next goodbyes is all of the crew recording messages to their loved ones. So we get a nice like kind of montage of that, of each crew member saying goodbye to their family members. And another signal appears, the fifth signal. So excuse me, I'm getting over an illness, so I'm going to be coughing a little bit while I'm talking. They meet a queen of this M-class planet, Queen Poe. She's brilliant. She helps them engineer the solution that's needed. They basically have to figure out a way to give enough energy to the crystal to make this all work. She figures out how to do it. She helps them. Her and Tilly had a prior relationship, so Tilly knew her. And they, at the same time, so Pike is going to go with Enterprise. Tyler is going to stay with Section 31 to quote, ensure that nothing like Control ever happens again. So Tyler and Burnham have a passionate goodbye kiss, very sorrowful, saying goodbye forever. Burnham also has to say goodbye to her Vulcan parents, her adoptive parents. Who knows if Spock said goodbye? I guess they all just have stiff upper lips, and I don't know.
So my inclination is that Spock is going to go.
Yeah, but we didn't hear him say goodbye.
Oh, yeah. No, even at this point, it's amazing. So even at this point, Spock doesn't have like a close relationship to his father, but I am still surprised that he did not say anything to his mother. A little surprised by that. But anyways.
I wonder if it maybe ended up on the cutting room floor. I wonder if there was
It
something
could
made
have.
around the
It could
time.
have. It could have.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what? This episode was a little short, so I'm like, I don't understand because that would have played really well into the future because he has a very close relationship with his mother. So I'm a little saddened by that it didn't make it, but
I was surprised. I was
yeah,
surprised for sure.
yeah.
And so they number one on Enterprise, Rebecca Romaine. I don't know her last name now. It used to be Rebecca Romaine Stamus. It's something
Yeah,
else now.
yeah. Did she
But
get remarried?
yeah, yeah, she's
Ah,
married to
okay.
one. She's married to he's one of those. I think he was in Stand by Me. He's one of those child actors.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but she figures out how to like retrofit all the shuttles and stuff. So the idea is they're gonna like battle Section 31 when they come, and that'll buy enough time for Discovery to go. And so the episode ends actually on that cliffhanger. Section
Yep,
31 comes, many ships come, and they're ready to battle, and it fades to black, and then we'll find out what happens next time.
yep.
So my first thing, Jason, is the episode opens with Sirach using
Just
some.
Sarek. Just
Oh,
Sarek.
sorry,
Just Sarek. Just
Sarek.
Sarek.
Sarek,
Yeah,
using interstellar telepathy,
yeah.
Katras linked. Um, I, uh, I'm like, that's a new Vulcan thing, right? Like if I go watch the original series, I'm not going to see Vulcans uh using telepathy across space, am I?
No,
No. Okay.
no, no.
Um,
This was a new one. And the interesting thing about that was like the the pre-credit sequence was like 10 minutes long.
yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, all right. It's kind of a long one.
Yeah.
But anyways, sorry.
So the juxtaposition of him using this like magical ability, let's call it what it is magic,
Yeah,
and them uh supposed to being like ultra logical. Like
yeah.
those two things don't mix to me. Um, and I know previously like the mind melds and stuff like that. Like they have shown this ability before, but like to me
Mhm.
those are very distinct things. Like
Yes.
you're either extreme science based or you're a Jedi. You're Luke Skywalker casting some magical ability across the galaxy. And I was like, um, I don't know. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I wish I get some science behind this.
I had the same issue
Ultimately
with
is
it,
my
but
point. Yeah. Ultimately my
yeah.
point is I wish there was science there.
Yeah, I had the same like reaction to it. I was like, "Oh, that's new." I mean, I get that you can try to feel, but yeah, no. The tremor in the forest, knowing that, Burnham is in grave danger or whatever, that was
Yeah.
totally not. And I'm like, "Okay, well, this is just part of new Trek that I'm just going to have to deal with."
Yeah, exactly. Because the whole reason they were able to say goodbye, because Control had knocked out all the communications,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
they couldn't have communicated any other way. And
Right.
so the reason they knew something was happening is because of his magical act.
Yeah.
So
That's it. No, yeah, no, I'm with you. I didn't. There are a couple of things that I had to kind of just get through.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. And then just a bigger point, Jason, in Enterprise, we we got to have so many like philosophical conversations about like the moral quandaries
yeah,
and the the debates. about what's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
There was never like there was never an obvious choice, and it was always they had to choose between the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Yep.
And like to me that like we were always talking about that when we were talking about this Enterprise,
Yep.
and I loved that. And it dawned on me with this episode that this show I feel like is completely lacking that.
Completely.
And and I think I've gotten caught up in the bells and whistles of like the sci-fi of the show and the
Yeah.
high emotions where
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that stuff a lot. But it dawned on me that like this show, like I don't even know like there's been times when you and I have tried to define what Star Trek is,
Yeah.
and I feel like this show just is not that.
Yeah. I agree.
And like there I mean, you could say that her choosing to sacrifice herself is what I'm talking about. Um but but I don't know, the way they lay out the stakes is just not the same. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're talking about one person who's not married and doesn't have her real family. She's going to her real mom. And it's just such an easier choice than some of the other things we saw, like in Enterprise, where they're like, hey,
Yeah.
well, do we destroy this civilization or this civilization?
Yeah.
um, so, and then like at the beginning, she tried to say, I don't want to sacrifice everything my mom worked for. And I was like, I didn't buy it. I was like, was this what your mom was working for? I don't think this is really the crux of like what your mom was working for. And it felt kind of
Yeah.
half-assed.
Yeah.
So just a point in general about this show. I feel like it's missing trekkiness.
Totally. And the thing is, and we've talked about this before, and I completely agree with you 100%. And it's kind of interesting because after the next episode, we're departing Discovery for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
A long while.
A long while. Yeah.
So so the, I it's interesting because it, it's typical television, right? Where I get it, where it takes, one, two, three seasons to kind of find your footing. And I wanted to pose this to you because we are leaving. Instead of 10 years or however long before Kirk and Spock, I'm
Mhm.
like, why didn't you just set us in the future
Yeah.
to begin with?
Right.
Then you don't have to like explain why Discovery looks like what it is, or why we haven't heard of these people. And you could still have the Spock connection, but just you know way way later. I
Yeah.
Yeah, I yeah, I don't it just feels like this is kind of, I don't know what's the word or the descriptor to it, but
Mhm.
this was like a fancy idea that they didn't think it through, and then they
Yeah.
said, "Okay, but now let's jump into the future."
Yeah.
And it would have been so much easier and much more believable if these
Yeah.
people, if this show started in whatever century that we're going to. And yeah, and I think that's where your I think that's part of the challenge of where the Star Trekkiness is away from, has gotten a little bit away from it, because if you start doing some Star Trekkiness now, you're going to it could have implications, and again that retcon stuff of,
Mhm.
hey, how come this wasn't talked about or addressed even in,
Yeah.
you know the original series, or
Yeah.
whatever the case might be.
Yeah. And I
board
think what you're
drive, all that kind of stuff.
right. Yeah. And I think what you're saying is it doesn't feel like when they started this show, it does not feel that their intent was to jump in the future. Them
Yeah.
jumping into the future feels like an apology or a whoopsies
Yeah.
in so many of the things that have happened,
Yeah.
like the Klingons growing their hair,
Yeah.
um, them them bringing in Enterprise and like showing the contrast between Enterprise and Discovery,
Yeah.
and then jumping in the future is the big one where it's
Yeah.
like I feel like they started out wanting to do that, and then maybe there was a bunch of backlash, or maybe they finally did think it through
Yeah.
and were like, oh, oops,
Yep.
let's fix
Exactly.
how can we fix this? Feels like a big apology, right?
And because the fact that because I as a fan, like these are the same people that bring you Strange New Worlds. And as a fan of Strange New Worlds, I'm like, what? Like, how can Strange New Worlds be so Star Trek in the modern era and the modern
Mhm.
day?
Yeah.
And yet Discovery, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah. How could
Discovery
it come
just
from the same people?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think they
Interesting.
would
Yeah.
and I think they could have had so many cool stories. So many cool stories. You know, if they didn't jump to the 32nd century and they did keep it 10 years before Kirk and Spock or however long.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a mystery, man. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um, well, again,
What'd
like
you
you
think?
said, yeah. I mean, again, I like the show. I like the episode. I'm in it. Like when when Burnham has the emotional goodbye with her parents and Tyler, I'm in it. I'm like, yeah, like this is good. This is good TV. Um, it's just only when I try to frame it in the Star Trek
Yeah,
mindset that I have
yeah,
issues.
yeah,
So I and they definitely have dragged it out too. Um,
yeah, yeah.
because when this episode started, I was like, finally, we're gonna get on with it. And then really, they just decided they're gonna go to the future instead of destroy it. That's kind of all that happened in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the
So,
thing is, like, as much as like, so two things. How like upset or disappointed were you that we never got to meet Nama Leah Nuna Poe until now? And then second, like even I'm gonna sound real nitpicky here, but I guess that's what we're here for, is to
mhm.
kind of react to the episode. But my initial reaction was like, yes, a you can have a database of like 900,000 years or whatever of knowledge, but the technology on the ship is still deeply rooted in the 22nd century. So
Mhm.
I'm like, if you're on Enterprise, just fire at will, right? You are going to like, you know, damage the ship, destroy the ship with the the of the day technology is what I'm trying to
Mm.
say. Like you could
Yeah.
easily destroy it. Like, you know, I doubt the the sphere technology or the sphere knowledge, as much as it tries to protect itself, it's still limited to 22nd or 23rd century like
Yeah.
technology. The Enterprise could
Well,
have easily destroyed it in my imagination or opinion. Is one of my
yeah.
reactions.
Well, in these shows, when they are attacked, shields are not that great. I mean, they deplete. You get hit
Yeah,
by a
exactly.
bunch of
Yeah,
torpedoes.
exactly.
So I had the same thought of like, well, they just hit it with 4 torpedoes. Why not hit it with 4 more and see if the shields go down, and
Yeah,
then hit it with
exactly.
4 more?
Or like, yeah, like, you know, I'm like, or just like let control destroy it. Like, okay, oops, one too many torpedoes.
Yeah.
I, so I'm like, okay. So I had a challenge with that as well. I was like, but you can still destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that they didn't even say like the torpedoes are still at 95% or
Right,
something.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then and then they could say, "Oh, we don't have enough to take them down," or whatever. I don't know.
Right. It's not like you have the shields or the armor plating or the hull of from the future. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
It's like 6 torpedoes away from going
right,
down,
right,
basically. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's not like the ship is from the future. It's from today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways,
Especially if they'd also used the cannon, like they could have done
right,
torpedoes, and
right.
I don't know. I thought that was weird too.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, really?"
And then as far as Queen Poe, my thought was that they were like, oh, she figured out how to crystallize dilithium. She could power all of Starfleet for eternity or whatever. And I was like,
Right.
wait a minute, like, well, why are they not currently doing that?
Right. Yeah. And then I at the same time I said, "Okay, that's cool that they gave Tilly like, you know, an off show backstory that she
Yeah.
met this person." But it
Hmm.
would have been a really cool episode if we went to Zahia or
Yeah.
whatever the case might be and met her.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
And
Maybe it wasn't what is in the but maybe it wasn't in the budget.
yeah. And again, it's not a big deal because we have seen characters pop up and be like, "Oh yeah, I've known you for 20 years," and it didn't have to be, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I would give this one, if we're doing excuse me, we're doing ratings,
Yeah.
probably like an 80%.
Yeah.
Not a bad episode by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But
Middle. Yeah, same. I'm gonna give it a lieutenant commander, so 2 solid, and then a third but blacked out pip. So like 2.5 stars, I guess, or 2.5 pips, whatever you want to call that. A good episode, a transitional one, I get it.
yeah,
You know, but yeah. And fast pace, fast moving, and I loved all the things that you talked about earlier. The goodbyes, even the
mhm,
Tyler and not Tyler, uh Stamets and Hugh Culber, like, there was seemingly a goodbye
yeah,
there too. That was really nice. And
because
then
he's going to Enterprise,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we think.
I
Hmm.
think Hugh's going to Enterprise. I think he said that.
Yeah, right. But I don't think he ends up there. But
Oh, I
that's my
see.
guess.
Okay, got it. And then obviously it's like, well, we know Spock doesn't get stuck in the future,
Yeah,
so I am curious to see how that plays out.
yeah.
But I don't think we'll get the answer until we revisit this show in like 5 years.
No, I think no. I think we're gonna get that answer in
Okay.
the next episode. I think they close that out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because right now the plan is for him to abandon the present.
Right. Yes, and go to the future,
So
but I think we'll find out before the season's end.
cool. Good. I don't want
That'd be
another.
weird. That'd be really
Yeah, what are you saying?
weird. To like, if he gets like what, half lost and like, you know, has to find his way. Yeah. Mm-mm, yeah. I don't see that happening. I imagine
Yeah.
like he has to do something and stay back
Yeah.
to allow them to get away.
Got it. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You
Like
know?
there's some problem that needs to be solved that you can only solve by staying in the present or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay.
Some door gets jammed and he has to like, be the one to keep it open or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever the
exactly.
case might be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Was there anything else with this episode?
Not that I can think of. I think we covered it because it is pretty much a fast-paced,
Yeah.
action-packed episode.
Hmm.
Oh, I guess the only thing I would say is I think the visions that we're getting is a blur, is like a mix of like what will happen in the next episode and
Hmm.
then what doesn't exactly happen in the next episode.
Okay.
That's my guess.
All right. It's a version of the future that will happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think some of
Okay.
the events happen, but not all of them, obviously.
Works for me.
Because it looks like Leland kills almost everybody, and I'm like, not
I
sure if
don't
that
I don't think
happens.
that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, interesting.
For stuff like that, I always like to quote Yoda when he says, always in motion, the future is.
Always in motion, the future is.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Okay. Speaking
Okay.
of Star Wars,
Yes.
next time we meet, a new Star Wars show will be in existence. The Skeleton Crew
I
is
d- I thought
starting.
Skeleton Crew doesn't come out until after Christmas.
I thought it came out
Oh.
December 2nd or 6th or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you have
Oh.
me second guessing.
No, 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 no. That's not my.
December 3rd.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a Monday? Is that the Monday? Oh, come on. Seriously, it's the Monday? It could have done like this weekend. Really?
It's weird. I feel like all these Star Wars shows, they do like weekdays like that. Very
True.
strange.
True. It would have been cool to have like, post Thanksgiving sandwich, and then ease
Yeah.
into a new Star Wars series
Yeah.
on a
Right?
Sunday or Saturday and come back to the water cooler on Monday to talk about it. Water cooler talk on Monday. Who am I kidding? Who does that anymore? But anyways, yeah, no, I'm excited. Jude Law, I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm down. Well, I mean, it's Star Wars, so of course it's
Yeah,
always exciting.
yeah,
Even when it's bad, it's exciting.
yeah. What has
And
been? I'm not going to ask
well,
that.
okay. Um, and I'm going into this one pretty blind. I really have no clue what it's about. So
Oh yeah, see, I was about to ask you. Do you know what happened? Do you know when? Do
I
you
don't.
do you have any
I couldn't even
guesses?
tell.
Come on, buddy. You're the one that's be like, oh, you know what? That's a Type A743A droid that only
Mm,
happens between Old Republic and New
yeah.
Republic.
I mean, I, I don't recall seeing a bunch of Jedi or any Jedi. Um, and so that to me that rules out like pre episode 3. Um,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
I think I saw a thing where Jude, because I listened to a Jude Law interview, but it wasn't about the new Star Wars show, but he did say something to the effect of he's like a Sith. Um,
Okay.
Man, I just have no idea, dude. I have no clue.
No clue.
No clue.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Interesting.
Yeah, I do not have the faintest idea.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it seems like the Republic is not a thing.
Okay.
It also doesn't, it wasn't like full of stormtroopers and stuff either, though. But
Okay. So do we think this is New Republic era, or can you even
I kind of do, yeah. I kind of think it's like New Order
First
type
Order,
stuff.
you mean? First Order?
First
First
Order, thank you.
Order. So like,
New Republic
do
type
we
stuff,
think
yeah.
that it's post Mando, in Mando, post Boba,
Yeah,
in
I don't
that
know.
area?
I mean, the fact that they're calling it Skeleton Group Crew, I'm gonna say it's the the like nascent like resistance, like the beginnings of the resistance against the First Order. That's my guess. That's my official guess.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. And do we know how many episodes we're getting?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Okay.
I assume it's eight. Everything is 8 episodes now. So
Really?
yeah. Yeah, that's like the modern era of TV is
Oh,
everything
I
is
didn't know
eight
that. Okay.
episodes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Because there are Star Trek that's like 10, 12
right. Yeah.
in the modern era. But okay, Star Wars, I didn't make that connection that it's 8. Okay, cool.
What about you? What do you think? What do you think it's about? Or when do you think it is?
Uh so I have watched the trailer and the teaser again, and taking into consideration how, okay, so the Acolyte was
Yeah.
before.
Hmm.
My guess, my guess that it is in the New Republic era,
Hmm.
and it's right, like, after Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and I imagine that we're in a Mando time frame, in
Okay.
the Mandalorian, because again, outside of Andor and outside of the Acolyte, everything else has been okay, except for Ahsoka when they jump.
Hmm.
Uh, wait, but that was not into the future or the past. It's just into a different. Okay, so yeah, I think we're in that like Mando, Boba Fett, Ahsoka time frame.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Ahsoka is in this. Hang on,
Yeah.
hang on.
Because it's years later.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And this is we're in the Disney era, so it's before, but it's before
Episode
uh
7.
episode 7.
Yeah. I think you're right. I agree. Yeah. I think you're right.
So I think we're in the Mando, Boba, Ahsoka
Hmm.
time window. Just different story, obviously.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And so we don't do we know anything about Jude Law? So because he said that he could be a villain ish.
Apparently. Or he's just like a dark side user.
Okay.
Um,
Or it's nuanced,
yeah, or it's nuanced. Yeah.
where he's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Could be. So I don't know. And I kind of like not knowing, to be honest. That
Yeah,
way
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. For
surprised.
sure, for sure, for sure.
So I also though just from the trailer, I got the feeling they were going for a Stranger Things vibe. and
I don't.
Stranger Things on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Where it's the whole ensemble thing, but it's children, and so it's very kind of like ET, like sort of coming of age.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Where the kids are outsmarting the adults.
Oh, okay.
But like playing an important role or whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay. Huh. Huh.
So I watched all Stranger Things. I enjoyed it for the most part, but ultimately it's just not for me. It's for much younger people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so I pretty snap judgment and was like, okay, well, this is just not for me. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm
Okay.
not the target demo.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so I'm
Okay.
not gonna like invest a bunch of time into
So
researching
you
it or
think this is
whatever.
going to
So
happen with Skeleton Crew, potentially?
yeah,
Similar?
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
So
It's interesting that you say that because, like, like Star Trek Prodigy, definitely geared for kids. What?
yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, this is enjoyable.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is cool."
See, I think Star Trek it works, but like Star Wars did the Young Jedi Adventures that
Yeah,
like my daughter watches,
yeah.
and it is firmly like not for me.
Ah,
Like like cannot finish an episode. It's so
gotcha.
yeah. So there is a line that
Okay,
that can be crossed.
okay.
And I'm not saying this show will be that, but I think it's it's towards that line. Um,
Okay,
I think that's just what I got from the trailer.
okay, okay.
So
Well, when we talk about Such Sweet Sorrow Part 2 and obviously connected with
yeah,
Skeleton Crew episode 1 and 2, I would imagine, since
I'm
they're
sure.
probably
Yeah, I'm
doing the
sure.
first 2 episodes,
Yeah,
or 3 even by the time we get there, but we'll see. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's it. But yeah, we do have to plan on where we're going next.
Hey, man, I'm down.
Age, I would imagine.
I'm down to watch Pike's pilot episode,
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's a perfect one to get to. It's
and
very
then get into Strange New Worlds. I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine too that. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I
Awesome.
mean, we can do some research to confirm that's exactly it, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed.
Yeah. I think it's the Cage and then Strange New Worlds for sure.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, good deal. Well, everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Follow us on all the stuff. For now, we are on X. We might switch to something, Blue Sky or something. TBD on that. But follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you get podcasts, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Um, that would be awesome if you did that. If you did that, um, YouTube's where the real fun is. So
I know
um,
what this is. No. Ring the bell.
yeah, ring the bell. Yeah. So anyway, until next time, live long and prosper.
And may the force be with you.
See ya.
Thank you.